Welcome back. And today we are speaking with Margarita, our co-host and very strong and beautiful girl.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Margarita. I'm 19 years old if it's later. And so now I would like to tell my story, why I am in Spain, why I left my country. And so let's start.
So, okay. Basically, we are always speaking with our guests, and today you are kind of our guest too. So we are starting with your story in Russia, and then you need to tell us how you came here to Spain and what are you doing here.
So when I was at school, I was 17 years old. So it was I'm talking about the last day in Russia. So it was 24th of February, and I went like to school as normal day. My phone didn't work because I didn't put in charge. So, and my classmates started to talk about the war. And at this time, I was studying in high school in the last class. So they started to talk about the war that Russia started to bomb Ukraine. I understand nothing, and then I think at 12 o'clock I finally put my phone at charge, and I've seen that I've got like missed call, about 20 missed call from my father. So, and then I started to read the news, and I have seen my missed call from my friends from Ukraine. So I started to read news and Telegram and Medusa. So I found out that Russia started the aggressive war with Ukraine. I knew that war should be started because like Russian news prepared us for it, but like I knew it, but I didn't want to believe it. So it was like true that I didn't want to get. And so I called my father, and he told me that I should leave Russia no matter which country. So I should now go back to house, take all my stuff, and go. And he will buy ticket to airport. So I actually had a panic. I didn't want to leave, and I didn't understand the situation. So I called my mother and told her that I wanna leave from school because I need to visit my doctor, and I forgot to tell her because at this time I didn't live with my mother. I lived alone at apartment in Moscow. So
Okay, so I'm sorry, I need to put some details in your story. So your father at that moment had permanent residency in one of Western countries, and
he lived in Lithuania. He lived in Lithuania all time, and he has resident card. And I also he has resident card, and I had resident card because I am his daughter. But after 18 years old, I couldn't get, so I didn't have visa, but I had resident card.
So, and you had previous experience of travels alone abroad out of Russia. So for you and maybe for your mother, that will be not a big surprise to leave a country alone. But you didn't tell your mother that you are leaving.
I didn't, yes, but it was normal for me because I travel alone since 14 years old. No, I think 13 years old, because first it was like international camp, then it was a private school in Scotland, and then I usually go. But I visited when I meet my father, it usually was not in Russia. It was Europe country. For example, during the COVID, I was in Canarian Islands and I knew that other people in Russia couldn't visit it because COVID, and I could because I had resident card, and this is so important. And also I had Pfizer because I couldn't get vaccine in Russia because I didn't have 18 years old. So it wasn't my first time. And the most important thing that I had special document that I could travel alone in the international race, so an international plane, because I can't leave my country without permission of my parents, and I always have my documents of it. My mother didn't keep it.
I just want to say that you're one of the most prepared Russians at that moment who can travel any moment abroad. So not like other girls, teenagers in your age. And continuing your story, you said to your mother that you are want to visit your doctor, and you took your stuff and went to airport.
Yes, I started. No, then I took my documents to leave my school because I can't leave my school without permission. So I just took my stuff. My teacher started asking me why I'm leaving. Like, I didn't finish my test. I went to my tutor to tell her that I'm going to other country, and then I started to cry because I didn't want to leave my country. I love my country so much, but I hate the government. So I took and then I went to home to took my stuff, and this time my father tried to buy the ticket. But the most important thing that when I'm doing my second phase of Pfizer, vaccine of Pfizer, my father was telling me that I should, when war was started, because he knew that the war will start. So in my phone I had like information, like 3 different ways how I can leave Russia if plane will not work. And also I had like in Russian rubles, and I had like euros, like cash, to leave my country because I know that my father couldn't give me money. So he finally bought the ticket to Poland. I took my stuff from Moscow and went to airport. I actually had a big panic. And then I started to call and then I put it in his story in Instagram. Everything is fine. You turn off. Okay. And so that I'm leaving. So, and I'm so upset that the war will start, because like from Scotland and from camp in England, I had a lot of friends in Ukraine. And so I wrote a story on Instagram that I'm leaving my country. But actually when I'm packing my stuff, when I was packing my stuff, I thought like I'll come back after 2 weeks, but it wasn't true. So, and then I went to plane, and when I was in Poland, my father wasn't there, and he booked me hotel, and then I lived 1 week in Poland, in Warsaw. I don't know, I've got Spanish in my head, so. And I lived 1 week alone, but I had fear that I couldn't live alone because I didn't have 18 years old. And after 1 week, my father came from Lithuania to Poland, and this time came like sister of my grandfather, because my grandfather has a like come a babysitter, but for old people. And so her sister, she lives in Zaporizhia, and she came to Poland. And my father also took her, and at this time was like lost the fighters in Zaporizhia atomic electric station, and so my father has a really big fear that it will start bomb, and
it will turn to nuclear conflict.
Yes, nuclear catastrophic, and he bought a lot of stuff for camping because he thought that we will live outside. So he has like, and he bought a lot of stuff for living in forest, because yes, he thought like everyone will die. Yes, like this.
So yeah, I totally appreciate your father's foreseeing, but not this time. I mean, not this time we will become survivalists. Maybe next.
I hope no, but yes, and
Yeah.
and he couldn't sleep. I'm sorry, one moment, like charge here, and he will shout. Yes, and my father bought a lot of stuff to survive in the forest, and so it was the last night in Warsaw, and the next day we should go to the sur of Europe because like he had a fear about the nuclear war between Russia and Ukraine. So, but we should leave the hotel at 9 o'clock, but at 3 o'clock my father he woke up and started to read news, and he read that and in the Zaporizhia the fighters, and so he had a lot of fear, and it was at 3 o'clock at the morning we started to pack our stuff. And so, no, 3 o'clock at night, we started to pack our stuff and went to one of volunteer to take to take like friend of my father, and then we went to the sur of Europe. So
that was
I think
20
sur is in Espanol, south in English.
south.
I just got Spanglish in my head. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's totally normal. No pasa nada.
Yes.
So that was 25th of February or 25th.
No, it was 1 week after, because 1 week I lived alone, and then it was in March. Yes, March was started, and so he started to choose go to Italy or Spain or Portugal, and so he decided to go to Pyrenees Islands. So, and when we were in France, like we were in a car with Russian number, like from Poland to Spain, and so we like in the France he asked me like Portugal or Spain. I just told him Spain, and that's why now I'm Spain. Like I didn't actually choose. I read nothing about this about Spain or Portugal. I just didn't get what's going on. Like why I'm not in school, why I'm not studying, like why I'm with my father. So it was really weird. And then like we went to south of Europe of Spain. It was Malaga. And my father, like when I was like about 8 and 9 years old, like I was in Spain before 3 times, and like with my family I was in a lot of cities in Spain, but I didn't remember anything. So like everything was new for me, but nothing new for my father. With my first, when I came to Spain, I went with my friend of my father to have her document because she doesn't speak English. So we went to Consul of Ukraine in Malaga, and they told us that we should go to CR. It's an organization which shows for refugees. So, and I started to talk with the lawyer in this organization, and I was like as traductor, as translator. Yes, as translator, and because she doesn't speak English, I don't speak Spanish at this moment. Now of course I can, but and my father was in the corner, and like we have little pause about 1 minute, and my father told me that Ukrainians started bombarded by Russian planes. So I started to cry because it was like. And at this break, the lawyer asked me like, what happened with my document, because she knows that I also ran away from my country, and I told her like, I don't know, like I can't get another resident card, and I've got a fear to go back to Russia because like since 15 years old I was like activist, how maximum how is it possible for my age. And so I told her that I was really big fear to come back to my country, to my motherland, because the government. So, and she told me that I can ask like asylum in Spain. because it will be the first country when I will have 18 years old, because at all this moment I have 17 years old. So, and the next week I had appointment with her, and we started to talk about my situation. And when I was 15 years old, I really was impressed by the situation. Like in my hometown, it's not Moscow. It's the name is Dmitry, it's Moscow region. We've got like a lot of it was really good and clear city, and then we had a lot of rubbish, and so air was so bad. And I went to one manifestation about and the organization was Alexei Mikichan. Do you know him? Oh, no, Arshak Mikichan. I'm sorry, I've got Arshak Mikichan.
I guess this is eco-activist.
Yes, eco-activist Arshak Mikichan.
And his story that Russian government decided to took his Russian citizenship.
Yes, but it's impossible.
No other citizenship except Russian.
No, but yes, it's impossible. So I was 15 years old. I had paper that climate change is killing us, and so there were radio of Libertad, Radio de Libertad, Radio Svoboda.
Radio of Liberty.
Radio of Liberty, and they asked me some question, and they put it in the title my phrases like, we want to live, we don't want to survive, because I mean that my old brother has a problem with breathing, because he lived in really dirty, his first 3 years he lived in a really dirty city near of Moscow. So, and I knew that other gaps will survive, because it's like air actually is really dirty, and they put my phrase in the title, and Radio of Liberty. And so, and then I started to read the news that the government wants to take passport of Arshak Mikichan, and I thought about I told it about it to my lawyer, and so
here in Spain.
Yes, in Spain, and
you explained her your story, your political activity back there in Russia, and she told you that you should apply to refugee status.
Yes, because no, at this moment I didn't have serious case, because I just had a big fear to go back to Russia, and I didn't want to leave country where my friends, my classmates support this is crazy, weird, stupid war, and so. And at this moment, I didn't have strong case. I didn't have real reason to ask asylum, and so. But yes, she decided that I should wait until my resident card of Lithuania, and then I should put my resident about asylum seeker of asylum. I know, yes, I know, but at this moment the war started, I knew that the parliament of Russia, they wanted to make new laws about it, but they didn't find at this moment when I was in, it was May 2022. So I didn't have because we didn't have laws for it. Now, yes, I know that I've got strong case, because if I will go back to Russia, I will go to prison, because I support Ukraine. And so, and then and this summer I worked in the stocks of Red Cross, and I went to some manifestation to support Ukraine, and then I get acquainted with some Russian kids. They also do not support this war. So we've got community in Malaga and in Spain, actually, in big city. And so, and then I started to I went to Spanish school, started to learn Spanish, studied Spanish. And I was younger, about from like 6 years old to like 13 years old, I had big problem with my father. He punched me, and I'm ambidextrous, like I can write both hands, right and left, and that's why, because and first time I could write so only left hand, and my father told me that I should write only right hand because it's not normal that I'm writing by left hand, and like my calligraphy is so bad, like no one can read it, and so my father punched me because I can write normal by right hand, but I can write normal by left hand. So I had a lot of problem with my father. I know he's really good person. He helps a lot of people. Like he's good person, but like a father, he's awful. Like to be
Okay.
honest. In September, I went like to my lawyer and told her that I've got my domestic violence. So I kept it as a secret because I can't work because I don't have permission for work, and so like I depend on my father with money. So and like any ways of this situation, and like she told me that I can live in program for refugees. So and actually I was trying in office because like I had a fear to go back to home because my father shouting to me, and so then like it was Friday, and I when I texted her, and then and Monday I had appointment with her, and I thought about my situation, and and Monday and Tuesday I went to other office of there, and so I'm also crying there, not because I like wanted to leave my father as soon as possible, and I was trying to manipulate, no, because I was scared. So and it was scary situation for me, and so and at this day, as they told me that I can go to one of hostels to live with other people. So because they told me that I can decide to leave on Thursday and Tuesday on Thursday, because Wednesday is and es fiesta, como like it's like Spanish special words. And I told like the office that I want to leave like my father and Thursday because I need to take my stuff. I need to prepare my baggage. But like I really like I want to say thank you the worker of this of there, because he asked me like about 10 times that I want to leave. I'm sure that I want to leave Thursday, not Tuesday. And I finally said no. Okay, I want to leave my father in Tuesday. I want to leave his apartment in Tuesday. And so when I went to my house, when I went to took my baggage, because then I should start to go to hostel. My father started to cry me to shout to me, and actually I couldn't leave the apartment. He took my passport, he took my phone, and I had a fear. I started to scream. Because I wanted that the neighbor will call the police, and because I couldn't leave the apartment. So he gave me my documents and passport. I took my like stuff which I could, like teeth brush, and that's all. And then I went to hostel where I was living about four meses. And so then I started to leave programs there, and actually I started to feel more calm because I was really nervous, like because while I was living with my father, I also had a lot of conflicts, but I started to feel really calm. I finally could sleep, and so that's why. And actually I think it's one of the best at this moment. I think like now I'm really poor, like like my life in Moscow, like I didn't look like for the price for food. I could eat in restaurant because I was working. Now I'm really poor, but I'm like my father not give me money, but like I'm 19 years old, like this, okay. But I think it's one of my best decision that I left my father. So I feel more happy that I'm living without his pressure. And
Mhm.
but yes, my lifestyle now is really small, like not like in Moscow. And so Why I wasn't when I was living in Malaga, it was like zero, no, zero, zero type of the program. And so after the interview, you've got like the first etap of the program, and like they told me that, like the CR asked me that I want to live in Malaga or another city. I told them that I want to live in another city because I've got the fear that I don't want to live like in one city with my father, and that's why I'm living in now in another city. But while I was living in Malaga, I was really happy because I've got a lot of friends there. So like we've got really good community yes, I really love people then. And when it was last manifestation about 1 year of the war, I read a speech. I made a speech from the Russian opposite that we support Ukraine, we hate Russian governments, and we couldn't choose where we can born, and it's really important step for me that the mayor of Malaga, he shook my hand, and I don't have photo, I've got witnesses, like shook my hand, like I don't have photos, I've got only witnesses, but I'm really happy with this event. So, but the situation of this event is really sad because like about the war, and I was crying in the interview that it was 1 year of war, and I know that one of my friend, like before like 1 year ago, he supported Ukraine in this war, and now he supports Russia. So he changed his mind.
Okay, so
and I'm so upset with that. And yes,
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Let's switch to third stage of our conversation. So, because of security reasons, we can't speak about current situation and current city where Margarita is staying right now. But what is more important, to know your views about Russians who still stayed in Russia. Tell me, please, do you think that about 2/3 of Russians really support Putin? Tell me about Russians here in Spain who kind of support Putin's, and I absolutely want to know what are you doing? I know that you are doing a lot, but tell our audience, what are you doing for our community?
No, I know one boy, like we know each other like from 2 years old because our mother, they're besties. So he's not stupid. He studied like in the one like in high school of economy and faculty of economy, and and this faculty can go people so only if they like winner of Olympiads. So it's like the proof that he's not stupid. He's smart.
He's elite. He's elite.
And elite?
Elite.
Yes, but no, his mother, she's not rich, but yes, he's really smart. So, but like when was searching, he told me that he had a conflict with your grandmother because his grandmother, she supported her, and he thinks that's so stupid. And now we had a conversation, and he told me that like the government not is stupid, Putin not as no, is not, I'm sorry, Spanglish again, is not stupid. So, and like we've got reason to start this is of ugly war. And so, and I was shocked actually because he changed his mind, his opinion about the war. But and I wrote another my friend, and she told me that I understand that we should understand people who are staying in Russia, because it's like one way to get the situation, because they're paying taxes. So, and this is really difficult to realize that your taxes go to kill other people. And when I'm talking like with people who support war, and I'm still doing it because a lot of my, I can't say friends and I can't say ex-friends, like just people they were who were in my life. I'm still talking with them about the war, and I'm using argument that it's so bad. Firstly, it's so bad for Russia, and when I'm talking with Ukrainian people, I'm talking that I'm so upset with the situation that Ukrainian people still dying by Russian government, because I know that, for example, for Russian people doesn't matter that Ukrainian people dying, but for them it's more matters than that we don't have money for schools, for hospitals, and Russian people still dying. And I know that for Ukrainian people doesn't matter that like about Russian problems. So I'm using different arguments for one part, like for Russian people when I'm talking with Russian people, and when I'm talking with Ukrainian people. So, and yes, and when I'm talking with Belarusian people, I'm like, I remember that I was really preocupada, обеспокоена. Preoccupied about the meeting and 2020. So yeah, and I'm talking about with them about their situation, because actually it's preoccupied. So yes, I'm using different way. And like 2 weeks ago, I had situation. I was walking with my friends. We are living in one apartment. She's of Salvador, and we're walking, and she met her like roommate. It's one old woman from Ukraine, and so she started to talk with her. They were living in one room, and I started un segundo. No pasa nada. So and I started to talk with her in Russian. So she asked me where from. I told her I'm from Moscow, and first, and then she told I don't want to talk with her, but she started to talk with my friends because they were living in one room. And so she started to use translation in her phone, but I started to translate her. And when she told my friends that she will go to Madrid, I started to talk like in 9th of May, like Russian people who support fucking Putin, they've got manifestations. So if you want, you can against this manifestation, because if you want to visit. And now it's like I talk like between the translation, like comment of translating, and then at the end of conversation with my friend, she started to talk with me, and she told me that she's apologized, that she started to talk with me a little bit aggressively, because like, and I understand her, because it's really scary when like terrorists and are in your country. So, but it was like situation when the person apologized for me, because she started to talk with me a little bit aggressively. But like, I don't have emotion with that. I'm agree with her, and I can understand her, because with my house everything is good, but it's really scary to hear this like this sound when they started to bombing, and I can't get it.
Tell us, please, what are you doing here in Spain as anti-war activist, and maybe you're doing something else. What is your current activities?
So when I was living in Malaga, I was more active than now. I was working as volunteer, like collect food for Ukrainian soldiers near the Mercadona. It's one name of the supermarket. Also, I was working like two or three times in stocks of Red Cross, and I went to some manifestation, and like with Ukrainian guys. Also, I helped to organize only Russian manifestation to say that we are against the war. And this is all was when I was living in Malaga. So like I was like one of the most active person there. but now I'm living in other city, and I don't have stuff to do because I cannot organize meetings because I don't have like people for it, because in this city we don't like Russian are not living, so I'm just waiting when I can my permission for work, then I can move to Madrid and continue my work. And also I know for my age it's really important to get like education and university to be like, because when I lived in Russia I wanted to go to university and study political science, and now I'm also wanna study political science because it's really important for my country. So and yes, now with my situation, the best I can do is study and work, and then study in university, and then go back to Russia and change the situation. But
Okay, so
I want to
you have plans to go back.
Yes. And when I was studying, I want to talk about my project. So I had a idea when I was 15 years old. So I was like, we've got like system in Russia, like about like I made like when I started in Russia, I made 2 projects about the system, and this is 2 project. I want to make another project and make one big project about the system in Russia. So that's why I want to start in university to finish it. So we've got system like people without parents. They are living like in really difficult situation, and then like we've got really bad statistic of integration children without parents in society. So and then this person study the first system, and then this person go to prison and other system. So and with this systems we've got really high level of violence in Russia. And so and now with situation in Mariupol and Bucha, we need to find, I want to find the influence between like that Russian, like with high level of aggression in Russia and what happened in Mariupol and Bucha and other cities. So that's about my project when I want to continue, because I started to do it when I was studying in school. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. See you again. Bye-bye.
See you, gracias. Hasta luego.